It is really easy to get lost behind this car. Oh, there you are. Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm standing behind my 2025 Toyota Land Cruiser, a Land Cruiser, and I've had it for over 3 weeks now, 600 miles on the odometer. And to date, I've spent thousands of dollars on it. In this video, I'm gonna tell you what I spent the money on, why I did it, and what else I'm gonna be emptying my pockets for. When it comes to Land Cruiser ownership, there's a lot of likes and dislikes, and I will put together a proper video. You just gotta give me a couple of weeks because I really wanna study the car and experience it in more depth. But having owned it for a couple of weeks, there are a couple of things I needed to do to ease my anxiety and make my ownership experience a little better. Because I am a visual creature, and the first thing I do with all my cars is I tint them. So in this case, I tinted the front windows with a 35% tint, and also I tinted the front windshield with a 70 or 75% tint, which actually darkens the front a little bit, and it gives it a pretty even match front to back. And I was going to stop there and just do ceramic coating and call it a day, but the more I drove it and the more I experienced the car with my kids, the more I realized that I care about this car so much that I don't want it to get unnecessarily scratched. Which is why I invested in a full body paint protection kit. I kid you not, I paid for a full body paint protection kit, and I am so happy that I did, because the shop that I found did such a phenomenal job. I went in initially wanting to do just the front clip and ceramic the rest, but I was talked into doing the rest of the car because the owner of the shop understands that being a car lover or a car obsessed person comes with all these things that you constantly have to deal with. Whereas the Tesla that you see up there, when I first got it, I only PPF'd the front. So the front is perfect, but then in the back you've got a lot of these different scratches which scratch me the wrong way. So in this case, knowing that, and I do mean it, I want to own this car for at least a couple of years. So if I can prolong the car looking as good as new for as long as I can, this is the investment I was willing to make. I am now less anxious to leave it in a public parking lot. I am now less anxious when it comes to washing it. I can wash it with one rag and not worry about micro scratches. I don't have to worry about dropping my snowboarding gear on the roof when I load the roof box because the roof is fully PPF'd. So knowing that makes my life so much easier. And I do have to compliment the attention to detail when it comes to PPF, because everything, and I mean everything, is tucked in. So for example, and I hope the camera picks it up, but this is all PPF'd. See, you cannot, there's a bubble here because it is still fresh, but all of that is tucked under the trim. Then when you open the door, you see, you open the door, you can see a bit of film here, and you can see where they cut it. So it is cut under the actual trim. So they removed the trim and they cut it, and then they put the trim on so you don't see any seams. The only seams that you see here are along the edge of the door. And speaking of the door, this door was done with one piece, which means you don't have a seam behind the mirror, because what they did was they actually removed the whole mirror assembly just so they can put the film in one place. And just like with the rear door, look at this, you can, and again, the camera will probably not pick it up, but you cannot see any seams whatsoever. It is such a beautiful job. I mean, the corners are as good as they get. It is very hard to realize that this car has been PPF'd. The only thing is this relief line here. He tried many times to basically wrap this whole thing. He had to do a relief line here because of this this odd shape. Aside from that, that is it. I mean, look at the corners. There's nothing that's poking out, which means there's nothing that's gonna attract dirt and debris like it does in my 911. Speaking of which, I will most likely have that person do my 911, because When I first got my 911, I had it wrapped by a shop that I didn't really know much about, and they did a pretty bad job with a pre-cut kit. This is a fully custom kit, and I am just so happy. While there, they also treated the plastics, they also treated the rubber, they also treated, let me show you. They also treated what's in the trunk, because this is one video that I'm going to be making for you. But when I first got the car, it came with a front license plate that they drilled through the plastic. So I ended up buying a replacement grille for the front, and I will be replacing it because I really don't want to run a front plate. And this thing has to go, and there are 1, 2, and then 3, 4 screws, screw holes. And this kit, this piece, was only $140 or so, so that was a no-brainer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it and have a nice clean front. So that obviously contributed to the biggest spend pool, but we didn't stop there. I did a video on this, but I did the dash cam hardwire. I have a radar detector hardwire. I also did this cool shelf. This under here is a shelf for my charging cables. What happens is you have this charging tray here, and it doesn't really work well, so you have to use a cable. And then when you're not using it, it sort of dangles here. So there's a company that sells these. You basically replace the original kit with this, and it's so simple to do. You just pop out the trim with a trim remover, pop it out, swap out the switches, pop everything back in, and now you got yourself a very cool cable shelf. It does fit a phone, but for me it is perfect to store this cable, because this means that I can still technically use this charging tray, which doesn't really work well, and then my wife, for example, can use this when we're taking long distance family trips. And when we do take long distance family trips, the car gets dirty, especially the floor during winter ski and snowboarding trips. So this car came with Toyota OEM rubber mats, and they were absolutely fantastic to step my feet on, except the fact that they were not protecting the whole area enough, especially in the area around the pedals. I got a set of new mats which actually fit the car very well, and they have this amazing border. So imagine having melting snow here. It will just stick here and it will not be absorbed into the carpet. They also protect me nicely in the back so kids don't step on the middle hump. Super nice rubber mats. The only thing is, if you do have illuminated door sills, they do kind of interfere with it. So what I'm gonna do is, this is Tommy L Garage, I will just nicely cut this corner here, and these will be very cool. I'm going to link this and everything that I'm mentioning today in the video description. One of the things that really bothered me about this car when I first got it is, yes, it has this nice blacked out Toyota Land Cruiser sign, but the Toyota logo was black on black, so it was virtually invisible. So I get a set of decals and I put them over the actual Toyota logo, and now you can tell that this is a Toyota, and the decals match almost perfectly with the gray that's at the bottom of the bumper. And of course, we do have my handy dandy step, which my kids use all the time. And now I also use it to, or will use it to, load stuff onto the roof. But I didn't stop there. I've got a couple of things on order. For example, I ordered a front leveling kit, which will raise the front by about 1.5 inches, because currently from the factory, the car is raked in the front. So the front sits a little lower than the back. This is assuming you'll be towing a lot of heavy load, and you'll be loading your trunk with a lot of heavy stuff. In my case, I will be doing very little of that. The equipment that I carry is not really too heavy. It's 3 other people and some luggage and stuff. So when it is loaded, I think the whole car will be pressed, but I do want that sort of even looking look. But I also already have some things that I'm gonna be doing. So I've got a set of spacers. I'm gonna be doing my first oil change, and there's a couple of other things that we're gonna find out about in subsequent videos. But I have to say, owning this car, and just again doing 600 miles in it so far has been absolutely amazing. The car still puts a big smile on my face. I have zero regrets when it comes to selling the M5. And a lot of you in my M5 sell video told me that I would regret it. I was downsizing. And my explanation was that, one, I am not loyal to a brand. I wanted to get something that fits my lifestyle. I also wanted to keep myself from doing stupid things, and the M5 just made me do silly things. I also didn't get the Lexus because, one, it was unnecessarily expensive, and I didn't like the engine. This one, I get 21 miles to the gallon. So far, 21 over 600 miles. It's huge. And yes, I'm not beating on it because I want to do an oil change first, and I'm going to do it soon. And then we're going to redline it and do all that stuff. But for now, 21 miles to the gallon is fantastic. So this is the real update about my Land Cruiser, a Land Cruiser. This is the money that I had to spend to keep myself happy and have a nice ownership experience. Curious to hear what you have to say. Leave your comment down below. But I will continue to make updates and DIY videos with this car because it's such a cool car, and I absolutely love it. If you enjoy it, give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.